Hey everybody, just gonna go over what my biggest challenge is in relationship to technology. As we go through this, apologize in advance for my voice. Started to get sick. As you all know, as teachers, you always get sick at the best times, and the week before finals is just one of the best times to start that. So, getting into it, this class and courses brought up a lot of thoughts and ideas about technology, but also a lot of things that you have to think about, and obviously a lot of challenges that come with it. Um, in my new position as a high school PE teacher, I've talked about this in some of my other assignments, some of my other videos. I just switched jobs this year. Um, Obviously, as a PE teacher, there's some unique challenges that come with using technology in the classroom, how to integrate it, and a lot of stuff that you have to really think about and really be intentional with. Um, I've already had some of those happen, especially when it came to doing some of my instructional videos. It was new, it was different. I had to think pretty hard about how I can integrate technology well into my class and not just do it. Um, but as the semester's come to a close, as I kind of wrap up my first round of high school classes, one of the biggest challenges that I continue to see and that sticks out to me in my position right now is not with the students, but my biggest challenge is trying to get some of my teaching partners to actually use technology in a meaningful way in PE rather than think of it as a nuisance. I'm sure you have some teachers in your guys' building who really don't embrace technology, don't want to do anything with it. They have to call you to set up their projector or something like that. And you've probably heard the stereotype about PE teachers, but it kind of is true. We have 7 PE teachers in our building. 5 of them are older PE teachers. They've been teaching for about 15 to 20 years. So they're pretty set in their ways. They don't really like to change much. They've ran their classes for years, and they're going to run their classes the same way. Um, this creates a big challenge as me and another teacher who just finished up his degree got hired this year. And just like in any subject, the discipline of PE has changed a lot. We're going away from what you guys probably had in PE, and we're making it a lot more student centered. We're doing a lot more than just throwing out balls and say, "Here, go play for an hour." Um, so, with that being said, we also are trying to embrace technology and use it in a meaningful way that helps the students and helps them learn in the best way possible. This is things like trying to look at grants to get heart rate monitors. So we can track data instead of just writing down numbers about how well kids participate. We're looking at data and technology to show us that. We're looking at, can we use video evidence? Can we use apps in the weight room? Okay, to correct form, to have students engage in reflection. All of these things are new things that have come up with technology that can really help our students in the gym, in the weight room, working out, whatever it is. With this being said, especially as a new teacher, it's hard to get your ideas across with someone who's really set in their ways. And unfortunately, with how our school wants us to run things, um, we put a big emphasis on teachers who teach the same course, running that class in the same way and having the same assignments. I guess something happened in the past where teachers were doing a bunch of different stuff, so one freshman English class was completely different than the other freshman English class. We had parents complain, so now there's this really big emphasis on every teacher needs to run the same class in the same way. So, because those teachers have been here for a while who are set in their ways, they're really hesitant to change how they run their class. And especially with someone coming in and trying to make big changes to it. I've come in and I've tried to throw out some ideas here and there, but you guys have all been new teachers or in a new building at one time. It's really hard for someone who's set in their ways to open up and embrace new things, especially if they're not comfortable with it. Um, so that's been my biggest challenge this year and moving forward, honestly. So I've had some ideas about how I can kind of go about that, and kind of what ISTE standards I can bring up, and relate to it. So when we're talking about the ISTE standards, okay, the first one that I saw that was relevant for this challenge is the standards for students 1D. Students understand the fundamental concepts of technology operations, demonstrate the ability to choose, use, and troubleshoot current technologies, and are able to transfer their knowledge to explore emerging technologies. So how this relates to my problem is that one of our PE standards is personal wellness. Students taking charge of their own wellness, making plans for workouts, things of that nature. So one thing I was able to bring up, and one of the few things I was actually able to get implemented, is that I had the students research new fitness technologies that would benefit them in their lifestyle. So it's kind of a 2-for actually when we're thinking about technology. There's a research project on the internet, so they had to use their research skills. And it was also a way for them to see what technology is out there in the world of fitness, and see what they could apply to their own life, what they could use in their own life. This is stuff as simple as how well do Apple Watches work tracking heart rate and tracking activity? Which tracker is the best? Should I get a Fitbit? Should I get a Whoop? Should I get an Apple Watch? Do I need something waterproof because I'm a swimmer? Do I need a chest monitor because I play volleyball and I can't have a watch on when I play? It's all those things. So it's kind of a cool way to integrate research, personal wellness, and technology all in one way. And it really relates to, I think, this standard in choosing their technology and also transfer their knowledge and explore new things that they don't know. And that project also kind of ties into the second standard I found, which is students build knowledge by actively exploring real-world issues and problems, and pursuing answers and solutions. So like I said, with that research project, they had to look at their own real-world problems. Hey, I'm a swimmer, but I have a fitness tracker that's not waterproof. So the times I am active, it's not tracking it. So how can I find something that's going to track my stats, my heart rate, all of that when I'm actually being active? So that was another way that I feel like it could really build into the real world issues, as almost everybody has fitness trackers. Okay, so just being able for them to look at that, look at real world problems, look at their own life, and be able to apply technology and find technology that's going to work the best for them. And then the last ISTE standard that I found really relates to my other teachers. And this was the hardest one, and it's still a battle that I feel like is going to go on for another few years. But it's the standards for educators, being able to dedicate planning time to collaborate with colleagues to create authentic learning experiences that leverage technology. We don't do this. We do have some planning time, but it is very far from being able to have a sit down, have a conversation, and really hash out how we're going to use technology in our classes. We do talk about how we're going to structure classes, but anytime technology is brought up, it kind of gets shut down pretty quickly. So moving forward, I'm trying to, in the best way possible without ruffling feathers, because obviously I have to work with these people for a long time, but trying to get some admin help to set a time, maybe even once a month, where our collaborative planning time is centered around technology. So then we're forced to have that conversation around technology rather than just having collaborative planning time where we talk about anything that we want. While 1 hour every month to talk about technology isn't the best way possible, this is one of the better solutions that I've thought of and come to, with at least getting that process started. Because again, that starting that process is one of the hardest things that you have to do when it comes to technology. Once that process is started and once people can see some of the benefits that comes with it, see that it's not so scary, see that we can truly implement it in a way that doesn't take away from our classes, I think it's a lot easier to get that idea across. So between the two things that I was able to implement, between this research project that they agreed to do, and then trying to set that 1 hour of technological collaborative planning time, I think is a step in the right direction for this big challenge, but it's going to take a lot more effort and a lot more time. But like I said, those were the solutions I came up with. And again, this audience for this problem isn't the students, it's the teachers. And some teachers are much more stubborn than any student that we're going to work with. So again, having that administration on my side, trying to implement that technological plan time, I think is going to go a long way, as then we're forced to talk about this and forced to have a conversation with it, and hopefully I can get the ball rolling a little bit when it comes to this.